Hey, dude, this is a good look for you.
Why?
I love the look. Yeah, this is a good
Why?
look for you.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Backwards
Why?
with it. Backwards with it.
I'll be the one to take the
Victoria Monet.
Tank.
Melvin Gregg.
This is another episode of Nice and Neat.
I'm Duke.
I'm Omar. I'm Jalon.
Yeah.
Come
To the
on.
hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand. I'm going pull forward in a fucking white sand. I give it all to this fucking mic stand. If it's been done before, then I know I can.
I know this part.
I'm on the rise, I'm trying to keep a level head.
I remember that.
I'd rather shed blood to the ground.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm P. Ray.
And I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles, Nice and Neat. As you can see, if you guys have been with us for some time, we have another repeat guest. This is only like the second time, right, that we've ever done this.
It's our second time.
Okay, but this time we got a repeat guest that has actually brought back some work from the first episode that we shot with him that is gonna be extremely helpful to those who are looking to get married, those who are married, and those who have been married. I'm gonna give him a proper introduction simply because some of you guys don't know who he is. Give me some time.
Okay.
Today's guest is Ray Murray, certified relationship coach, pastor, and author of Before You Get Married, 5 Power Questions to Ask Before Taking the Next Step. I took part in this just to let you guys know. Incredible stuff.
Yeah.
He has spent over a decade helping high-achieving couples find clarity before they commit. His work is changing how people prepare for lifelong partnership. If you're dating, engaged, or already married, this is the episode you didn't know that you needed. So let's welcome Ray Murray to the show, guys.
Hey.
Thank
Let's
you,
welcome.
fellas.
P. Ray.
Hey, this is for real a full circle moment. Like this whole thing happened. The book, we're gonna talk about that later, but y'all don't know how much y'all meant to my journey, just as a pastor, as a counselor. So I appreciate y'all because it turned into something big.
Yeah.
It did.
We also got to note that P. Ray was the officiant
Got to.
I was going to let you have that.
for my wedding.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
So, you know what I mean?
we got a lot to talk
Like,
about.
It's we really like intertwined.
100%.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
I think that it's, I didn't know he was going to be, first it was he's just a guest. And then he became someone who is a premarital counselor
Yeah.
to the officiant of our wedding. So
Talk about that evolution.
Very
Yeah,
You know,
y'all gotta realize when I first came on, none of y'all were married.
No.
Oh, wow.
oh wow.
We were
wow.
taught. So I'm watching.
Was I engaged?
You might have been
maybe not, bro.
Maybe not.
because when I first came on, y'all were still talking about it.
Engaged, yes. I think
Yeah.
engaged, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now everybody is.
Yeah.
Just 2 years later. So I'm tripping just watching how you guys have matured and evolved, and it's not just talk.
Yeah.
Like y'all walking it. So to see the maturity and see y'all going, because I'm the old head. I'm 50 years old. So you know what I mean? Like that. Like
Nah, you're not
watching.
You're 50 years old?
Yeah,
Nah, you're not 50.
No way.
I am. I'm not just 50. I'm 51. I'm into my 50s. Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah.
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Me
I,
either.
for some reason, I thought you were like maybe 42.
No, not at all.
Maybe 42.
But
Maybe
but
42.
I don't want your face to be like that though.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
what?
want you to say like, oh,
Nah, it's just like that's
No,
crazy.
man.
I actually have more respect and reverence
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
now I recognize, oh no, you really an OG to me. You know
absolutely,
what I mean?
yeah.
But he said, I knew that.
But y'all didn't. You
I
like,
didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Like
no.
you're not one of us.
You're not.
No,
You're not.
I'm
You're
really
not.
not.
No, you're really not. No, you're really not.
No,
You're
I'm really not. So I'm sitting back looking. I'm really not. I'm really not. But when I say I'm proud of y'all, I really am because it gives me hope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For my son, that he's gonna have somebody to look to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's doing it right. So
So, I mean, since you're not one of us,
yeah.
there's things that have came out since we've been married, and have you ever heard of something called the T app?
The what?
The T app.
No.
You know about the tea?
Yeah. What
they
is
got
that?
a new
for?
one
What
too,
is that?
right?
T
What's
app is this app that I don't even know if it was started by women. It could be.
I thought it was started by a man.
It could be a man behind it. I don't know, but it's an app that is for women to protect other women by anonymously bringing stories to the forefront of maybe guys that are cheating on them or guys who are abusive or guys who, whatever the case. So it's a way to protect women who maybe don't have the knowledge or the courage to leave situations. I don't know. And it's
How
a way
do
to
you fact check that?
So
Man.
I'm going to give you the.
I think it's unregulated.
I'll give you the exact
Okay.
description that we could play with, right?
Okay,
Because
okay.
this is pretty good.
Okay.
So the T app is a woman-focused dating advice app where users can anonymously share information and advice about men they've dated or are interested in dating. It functions as a kind of Yelp for dating, allowing women to post about men, including photos, and receive feedback from other users. The app also offers tools for background checks, reverse image searches, and criminal record checks.
That's intense.
That's intense.
And it's free and it's open.
That's
so the same way you
intense.
could download Instagram,
Yeah.
you could download the T app and somebody could begin saying, you know, because you 50, so I'm not going. But in,
Right here
so
to do
you
that.
right, you 50, right? Here we go.
You did,
So
you
in-
just Kevin Hart at me.
So in 1995, I was
you did
yeah.
that to me.
So in 1987, I was dating P. Ray, and this was before he had the P. He was just Ray,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And this was my experience with
Yeah.
him. So now your wife in 2025 got to read about who you was back then before you was even with her.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff it presents.
Yes.
That's crazy for us though. For you, that I would be. There was no way that would make any kind of noise in your household.
How you
You're way
figure?
above that.
How you figure?
Yeah, like
Well,
Are you above nonsense?
Because I feel like something that happened so long ago that's now brought to the forefront on social media. That's water underneath the bridge.
What bridge?
Nah, it might be water under the bridge, but it's gonna take some days. I mean, because it's the same thing. You kind of like, oh, I didn't know. It's just news you didn't know, or something that you didn't. You know what I'm saying? It might be news to me.
yeah, it's just something.
It's something.
It's something. But like
It's not nothing.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
But is there
Even
any,
though 30 years ago it's not nothing.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
you
people.
don't
I don't think people are wired like that. I don't think people can hear something and just be like, oh, no, I ain't no. I'm not tripping off of that. You gonna think about it for a second. Y'all haven't experienced the dream sequence. Like your wives haven't had dreams and then been like,
oh yeah.
so I had a dream.
Yeah,
You
for
know
sure.
what I'm
Oh, yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's not
yeah,
even
yeah,
that's not even real.
I
Like
didn't
my
do
wife
nothing.
had a dream and looked at me. I woke up and she was like, "So
Yes.
I had a dream and I said, whoa." I don't know her. I just woke up.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. But the way she was looking at me, it was very real to her.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? So
for
I had
sure.
to explain myself out of a sequence I
I
wasn't even
gotta
part of.
plead my case.
Absolutely.
In real life.
Like,
Off something that you saw when you were sleeping.
I'm just going to work. Like I don't.
So
you know
wait,
what I'm
wait,
saying?
wait,
So
wait.
with the
Hey,
T app,
does any of you hear the definition and be like, okay, cool, that's a good app?
No.
no.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Is there
No.
any part of the
Nah.
app where you're like, okay, that makes sense?
I don't think we need a Yelp for dating.
Okay.
Personally, I don't think we need a Yelp for dating. I don't think.
So you
need
don't
that,
agree with
but I
the
don't
T
think
app?
they need a Yelp for dating. Not dating. I feel like dating is a contact sport, bro. You gotta get in there. Like you
gotta
can't
get in there.
You can't go over all of these things and be like, nah, because this is the thing, bro. All of us here have terrible experiences from somebody else's perspective.
Yeah.
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 And that perspective cannot validate my wife's viewpoint of me, right? But to T. Ray's point of people still are gonna be like, well, why does she feel like that about you? It's something I gotta explain that has nothing to do with anything. I've actually been in a situation with my wife where I had to explain to her the lack of validity that a woman meant to me in my life. That was so uncomfortable because she doesn't even understand that side of me because she's never experienced that side of me. She doesn't know what me not caring even looks like.
Yeah.
So like for me to explain it, it's like I'm teaching her arithmetic in real time. And she's like, what do you... No, you and this girl had to like each other. You guys had to like each other. There's no way that she's acting like this. You like it. I'm like, I didn't. It wasn't like that. She was just, just one of those.
This?
Yes.
Everybody don't
Right.
get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Right.
think people miss that. I think that's the part where I think, and I never speak in generalizations, but I think a lot of times what hurts me about a lot of men like y'all, right, is that women don't understand that who you are is a choice.
Every day.
I'm choosing to be this man for you because I could be something different. And you don't get the credit, not that you even looking for it, but that you don't realize, like you said, there was a time when I wasn't like this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that even for me, my wife, wow, I knew you was a trip, but I didn't know you could be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have that potential.
Yeah.
Like I got that potential. You know what I'm saying? Like, but every morning I wake up and decide that I'm going to be this version of myself.
So with that being said, I know you have a clearer scope now
Yeah.
from the seat that you sit in, but also the professional seat that you sit in.
Yeah.
So what is your current analysis of the dating space that you get to experience and that you get to see?
As far as
when you see people dating, couples, not necessarily marriage-wise, but just what you see within dating. I know you have a younger son as well. So what is some of the things that you're able to take away and some of the wisdom that you're able to say, like, this is what this looks like to me?
Man, I will not lie to you. I'm concerned because I think that a lot of people are uncomfortable with the truth. So you really don't know if a person has decided to be honest with you or not. And you kind of have to work your way through that journey. You can't assume that somebody is even being honest with you when you're having a conversation. Does that make sense? And so I moving through this dating scene now is difficult when I'm thinking about my children because I just want them to be with somebody that's going to be honest. And I had real conversation. This is real true. So my son was dating, and this was years ago. My son is 23 now, so this was years ago. He was still in high school. And as a father, I had to make the decision whether I was going to teach him to be a person of integrity or teach him the game. And I didn't know which father I was going to be because I want him to be one of integrity. I want him to be a man that's honest and truthful, but I also don't want him to be taken advantage of because most of the people he's dealing with don't move like that. So I'm giving my son old school values that are going to have to catch up to his life. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the part where it's like, can I teach you this now, or do I have to give you both sets of information? And that's the part where I struggled.
Did you give him both sets?
I had to.
But I would have gave him both sets.
I had to, but I waited to kind of see where he was going to land because I also didn't want to give him this mistrust of women just, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm never one to just generalize anyway, right? But I just, yeah, man. So it's difficult. It's difficult because I understand what I gave him, and I understand that what I gave him won't be valued for a minute. So he's going to have to, but I'm watching him now navigate that. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. But as far as what's going on now with dating, I just wish people realize that they could actually be themselves. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. The closer you can get to who you actually are and be honest, then you'll connect with somebody that understands exactly who you are, because you can't keep up the act forever. At one point or at some point or another, it's going to crack and they're going to see who you really are. And at that point, that's a different conversation. You know what I'm saying? So be you.
What do you think is so hard for today's people that are dating to be themselves?
Okay, I'm going to sound like an old head right now, so I understand that. But I think it's social media. It is. I think it is. I have to present a particular way, and who I am is not enough. And I got swept up in it myself, right? Where it's like, I'll do something and say I'm uploading something on Instagram, but I've done it 55 times because it has to be a particular way because I'm afraid of just it being natural and having mistakes. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm curating my personality. And then I had to step back and say, oh, no, I'm not doing that.
But even because like the people are going to highlight the mistakes.
Absolutely. You just did it. You did like this.
Yeah,
this is what it is.
You're actually just thinking about people.
You thinking about it all. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that's actually what was stopping me from engaging in social media, is because I felt like I couldn't be myself.
Yeah, here's why I think too about social media. Social media has provided people with so many voices. The loudest voices are usually the ones who are speaking from the most trauma and bad experiences. People with happy experiences keep it to themselves, right? So they're not going to be jumping on the rooftops yelling, don't mess with this person, don't mess with that person, right?
Yeah.
So it's a completely different. Social media provides us with just loud voices. And no matter how emotionally intelligent you are, if you continue to see the same message, it becomes hypnotic. And you start thinking like, this is actually real life. So we're all watching the same videos.
Absolutely.
We're all watching the same videos, right? So if you just see a bunch of women talking about how they don't need men, even though there are women who do need men, you see most of them talking about what is it going to do to men? Men are going to be like, yo, this is what y'all on? Okay, fine, right? At some point, men are going to say, you know what? I'm tired of fighting. Cool, right?
Yeah.
If you hear a bunch of men talk about this about women, it's going to tell you you're going to start to form an opinion based on not what's reality, but social media.
Yeah.
Because media, right, and you know the messaging that's continuously being projected, that's going to have the biggest influences. And the more we walk around with our phones, the more out of touch we are with reality.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's like and then the other thing is this too, like none of us are above seeing other people's lives and being like, I want that too.
Nope.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And so
It's
that
natural.
creates us. So dating is like the worst it's ever been because like social media is the vehicle to make like that, right? And especially like apps like the T app, right? It's intended to protect women. That's what it's intended for. But really that makes dating harder.
It's really dividing men and women.
It's
apart.
really, and it makes dating harder because it puts women in a position where it's like, yo, more information. Here's more information. Here's anonymous information.
Absolutely.
And people think that the more information, the better.
Yeah.
The more information, the more confused you are, right? The more information you have, the less decisive you are.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes not knowing shit is the best thing you could do for yourself.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That goes back to like with Jalan's point too. Like your experience is not going to be my experience. So it doesn't even if you have a terrible one and you list all these things, it does not mean that I'm going to go through those same things. I'm a different personality. I'm bringing something completely different to the table, right? And I feel like the T app is more like of a hating thing.
It is.
It's like a hating thing. It's like, oh, this didn't work out with me with this person, so I want to go throw shade so nobody mess with this person again. Right? And you talk about all these bad things, and then someone else goes and date this person, and they run off and get married.
Exactly.
So like it's to me it's I don't like that. I don't like it. I think it's pointless, and I think like what we're saying is
Like,
dividing us rather than bringing us closer together, making dating harder.
And you're not going to think about it. You're not going to think I'm dating this person. You're actually thinking I'm dating the T app.
Yeah.
So now I can't be myself because whatever I do in this space with you, everybody is going to know. So now I'm setting myself up to be what they want. So you got an entire generation that's suffering from borrowed expectations.
Wow.
I don't even want I don't even know what I want. I just want what y'all think I should want. So I don't even know what works for me. I just know that if I put it up on Instagram, it's got to work for everybody else. So I don't even know what I like.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. On the T, are there profiles? Like it's like so you because I know you said it's anonymous, but how is it anonymous?
Nah, like yo, probably.
It's
like,
not
like-
about. It's not anonymous for the person you talking about.
Yeah, it's like people can set up anonymous accounts probably. Just
That's crazy.
probably give you fake usernames.
But like, how does that? How do you
And it has
how
no-
you gain
it's-
validity from
it's
that?
un-
There's
it's
no
un-
validity.
Unregulated. Yeah, it's not regulated.
That's what I say. It's
Right.
not
So what's gonna
fact-checking.
happen is like they're gonna start, and that's the problem too, because like there's defamation in that.
1,000%.
opportunity for defamation in that.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? So, but to your point too, though, like one thing I've noticed from social media is if you build up a strong enough audience, people will celebrate your bad behavior. And when you get admiration for bad behavior, it incentivizes you to continue to act bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you never correct your behavior. You always just assume that, okay, how I'm acting has gotten me this audience, so let me continue more.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like that's what social media has done, especially like if we are gonna react, because we are emotionally charged people, we're gonna react off of negative, commentary more.
Yeah.
So now if I get on social media, right, and I make a video and I'm talking shit about women, and all the dudes in the comments get on the comments and they be like, hell yeah, bro, you right. I know it's destructive to my dating experience but because other guys are getting in my comments and saying that, oh, they championing me and they're encouraging me, I'm going to be like, more.
I need to get another one off.
I need to get another, and that becomes my identity.
Yep.
Right. And so the more videos I put up, the more women see it.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, this is what men be on. Because now they seeing me and they seeing all the men in the comments agreeing with me. And so like it affects how they show up in the world. And it affects how all of us show up in the world. So yeah, for sure.
And in that same note, we're starting to understand what in social media in this landscape, what exactly it's doing to adults. Right? Like we've now have so much research on like that's available that like what sugar has done to children.
Yeah.
Right. And now we're starting to see like
that dopamine hit.
What that dopamine is hitting, what it's doing for adults, and it's crazy.
So I mean, I'm glad we're talking about social media because it actually takes us right into our next topic. You know, there's been some, we'll just say there's been some rhetoric around kind of people getting married because it's just like the popular thing to do, or this the thing that you can best associate with your job, or your friend group is getting married, so you're getting married and not necessarily for the sanctity of marriage, right? Yeah. So I want to ask you, and I actually wrote this down because I want to ask, are we seeing a genuine cultural shift in men openly wanting marriage, or is it just kind of like a social media wave?
Well, we're going to find out.
Let time. Okay.
Marriage is like money. It's going to expose more of who you are. And that's the truth. So for me, I don't know why they're doing it or what's happening. I would hope that people are seeing it and saying, no, being in a committed relationship is something that I want to do. Like I want to do this, right? But if you're not doing it for the right reasons, it will expose you because marriage is not a game. And I think that's the part that you won't know, right? You don't know why people do what they do. You will find out once they start hitting challenges.
You know, when we were having the conversation about people may or may not know what it is that they want, you know, and you're doing all these things for outside validity, you know, what if people don't understand if it's authentic or performative until they get in it? You know, like, let's not say they deliberately got married for the wrong reasons, but let's say you get married and you be like, oh, I just kind of didn't know what this even entailed. Would you even say that is necessarily right or wrong?
Not knowing?
Yeah.
It's not wrong. It's just sad.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think that it's wrong, but that's why, for me, conversations are so important. Because if you're not talking about why are we doing this, if you're not having that conversation, you're not going to know, good or bad, what kind of relationship you actually have. Does that make sense? Like, I think a lot of people, here's what's strange to me. If you don't trust something, you investigate it. Right? If something about, I don't know. Now I'm going through all this stuff. I'm trying to figure out who you are. Where were you at this time? Where was you that? Now I'm investigating. But if I love you, I don't want to know nothing. So you investigate what you don't trust, and you don't touch what you love. So you know nothing. Once you start having feelings, you stop wanting to think because you think asking questions is disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? So I really don't know you like I could know you if I would continue to investigate. I think love is the beginning of investigation. That's the invitation to start, okay, I see something here. Like, now we should really start talking about who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because love doesn't cover all of that. You can have two people that love each other or who are great people who are not great for each other. But we'll never know that if you don't actually start having conversations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think y'all make marriage cool. So it's going to be some guys that's like, hey, man, I want to do that. And in that mix, there are going to be some people that are really serious about marriage. And there are going to be some that aren't. But you're not going to know it until about a year in. You see what I'm saying? When they on the T app.
When they on the T app.
You know what I'm saying?
When on the T app.
Yeah.
How long you been married?
12 years.
12 years. As someone who's been married,
yes,
right? And who's older, right?
Yes.
At least older than us,
yeah,
right? And looking at guys who just got married.
Yeah.
My question is like, how long does a relationship, a marriage have to be developed or created before someone who's been in a marriage respects that relationship between two people?
And that's a good question. I think it depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to somebody like me that really understands what marriage is and what you have to do every day, you saying you've been married for 2 years is a big deal to me. Because I'm going to talk to you about the quality of your relationship. Because there are people that have been married for 20 years and they've been divorced for 12. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
I'm fooling with you. Like, we're together.
You.
So now the measure of our success is only time, and you don't know that. So you could have a 3-year marriage that's super successful, and the quality of your relationship, I can talk to you more about having a thriving relationship than I can somebody that's been married for 20 years because I don't know the quality of those 20 years.
Wouldn't someone who's been married for 20 years argue and say that those people who just got married don't know anything though?
Wait till they get over this side.
Because they haven't experienced it enough?
No, I would say
like
that
maybe they're still in that marital bliss phase, that honeymoon phase of their marriage.
Yeah, I honestly, for me, I don't believe in 2025 there's a honeymoon phase outside of the honeymoon. Because this world is so stressful. What we dealing with is so crazy. Like if you last a year and y'all still love each other and you keep going and you taking it one day at a time, I'm talking to y'all about, well, okay, so what are y'all doing? Like, how are you, like, are y'all still dating? Are y'all still hanging out? Like, what do you know what I'm saying? I saw a post, you and your wife the other day, and you was taking her through football drills. I'm like, man, they still like each other.
Yeah.
That's dope. They didn't have to try. You know what I'm saying? So I've been in at 12. I'm looking at y'all, but I'm saying, like, no, I can see, and I can see through Instagram.
Yep.
I know that wasn't a show. Like, y'all are really having fun. But for me, that's something I'm looking at. I'm like, man, see, that's something that we can learn. I was just talking to somebody today, and he's 60 plus years old, and he's talking about how much he's learned from the young men at our church and how they're dealing with their wives. And they only been married for a couple of years, but he's saying, I'm learning new techniques from y'all that I didn't even have. I didn't even know to listen like that to my wife. So I'm learning from you. So I think it's understanding that marriage is a day-to-day relationship that continues to grow. And if you know, it doesn't matter how long you've been married. If you have a quality marriage, then I'm listening to what you have to say. I'm listening to what you have to say. You know what I'm saying? Because I can learn something. And I think that's where we miss is we turn years into assumptions.
Okay, well, talking about assumptions, what makes you think, or why do you assume that what you saw online between my wife and I was genuine?
Because the way that y'all were interacting, like you can tell when something is real because at some point it's going to break. At some point, like...
But I created the content.
Sure you did.
You know what I mean? So I could have edited that out.
Yeah.
But would you say it's because like you've seen it on a number of times?
For me, me specifically,
Well, any like situation.
Okay,
like, I don't think I could ever look at one person, one time, one piece of content, and be like, "It's real."
I know everything.
You can.
I can't.
You can't. No. I can. But I think that's just part of what. That's just part of who I am.
Okay, that's true.
Because y'all remember,
okay,
like when I counsel couples, I can tell the way they sit down where their relationship is.
Okay.
So I've had couples when I first start with them, and they sit down. They face out.
Okay.
They're not even trying to. They're not thinking about it. They just face out. So I'll just sit back and people don't realize I'm watching your posture. I'm watching if you're leaning in. I'm watching if you're leaning out. I'm watching how you get tight when the husband or spouse or partner says something. So I'm watching the whole thing, right? So I'm watching you on Instagram, but I also saw you at the wedding.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I've been watching you when you didn't know I was watching you, right?
Yep.
So I'm looking at my guys. I'm seeing like, man, this is like I told you. I was like, man, Britt is hilarious. Then when I met her, she was pregnant. You know what I mean? So it's just seeing that you understand. And then I'll tell couples, you know, when you first came in here, y'all would never like lean into each other. 4 sessions in, y'all got your arm around each other. Like, you know when a couple has understanding and you know when it's something there. So I think that you can't hide it. It's going to leak out. Who you are is going to leak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think I think when we get to a space where we can look at a couple that's been married for a year and a couple that's been married for 10 years and a couple that's been married for 30 years and we can understand it, we can learn from each other, that's when we'll see marriages really start to be fruitful across. Does that make sense? Because it's certain things that y'all understand that I wouldn't even know until you start explaining it to me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in terms of the dynamic.
Isn't it interesting how we could be like that in one area of our lives, but not in another? Like for instance, like with children, at least for me, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you guys could attest to this. Like with my children, there's something I'm like, something will happen and I learned something from my daughter taught me something.
Yes.
She didn't know, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't even realize what she's doing, but she's teaching me something in the moment, whether it be about safety, whether it be about precautions, whatever it is, right? And I find that a beautiful thing that's happening, and it's something that I hope that continues over the course of our lifetime, right? But when it comes to relationship with your partner, it's like, or I probably can't learn nothing from them, or I don't desire to learn nothing from them, or no, my partner can't teach me anything.
Yeah.
And I find that very interesting because in certain areas in your life, you're so welcome to that energy. Where I'm accepting to learning new things from other people, from people who may not be able to, on the surface, doesn't look like they could teach me something. But someone that you love deeply, your own partner, you know, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
I find that super, super interesting.
Because how you define it. Mm-hmm. What does it mean that I can learn something from you? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because the way I'm responding to it is the way I've defined it. So if I define me learning something from my partner, meaning that somewhere I'm deficient and she's going to see that, you see what I'm saying? Then I'm going to say me learning something, I'm going to keep that away. Mm-hmm. I don't want to learn from you because I don't want you to think I don't know. You see the difference? But if I'm open and I'm honest about who I am and I come up front and tell you I don't know everything, and I come in a space where, there's some stuff that I don't know, and you really have a good understanding of that. If you're willing to be vulnerable, then it's fruitful. But if you're in a space where you feel like if I don't know, you're gonna think of me a particular way, then that's why that happens, right? Because with your child, she's young, so she's not gonna know how much you're learning from her.
Yep.
But with your spouse, she gonna know exactly what you don't know.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And if I'm in a space where I don't feel safe, which a lot of people don't, and we don't realize that, I can't admit that I'm learning because I don't feel safe. Then you realize, this is something that we really got to discuss and talk about if that's what you want. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
What you said, Jalon, man, I think the whole, like, this idea that men are only getting married to as a performative tactic, right? I've been seeing it online, and I have a problem with that because I feel like there's such a effort to take the good things that men are doing and offer a negative reason of why they're doing it, to discredit men from doing the good thing that they're doing, so people can have more ammunition to continue to shoot at men. I think that's happening because you're saying, because what's happening is, like, you will say, okay, black men don't want to get married. Black men don't want to get married. And then black men start getting married. And then when black men start getting married, you say, well, black men are only getting married because X, Y, Z. So it's just like, what it sounds like to me is you just looking for us to take an L.
Damned if you do, damned if you
right?
don't.
You're just looking for us to take an L. You just want us to take an L how you can give it to us.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a problem because to us, it just sounds like, it's a lose-lose. Yeah. If we get married for all the right reasons, someone's still going to be like, hey, you guys are getting married. You really getting married for performative reasons, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
If we don't get married, it's just like, hey, see, y'all are scared of marriage. Y'all don't want to get married. And the whole reason the dating space is terrible is because y'all.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So when we start stepping up to the plate, now it's all these other things. And I don't like it because we can't move forward like that. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that, if men are stepping to the plate, give men credit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we stepping up to the plate, give us credit. Don't just be loud when we're doing something wrong. Be loud and embrace us and give us our credit when we're doing something right. Yeah. And right, just in this context, just means like, what you think that we should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Because marriage is not for everyone. But if you're going to champion marriage when women do it, then give us that same credit. And I think that's the problem, right? I think a lot of the problems in dating to date come from, we just trying to assign L's. Mm-hmm. We just trying to assign each other L's however we can. You know what I mean? Because if someone's winning, it kind of compromises or it's a threat to our ego or whatever.
I'll be honest with you, bro, and this is like one of those thoughts I kind of like usually keep inside, but I feel like we're having a conversation that this is required to be expressed in, and I felt like this for some years now, but I think more than ever, there's just such an attack on families, and I think there is an attack on Black families, and you get better at attacking them by making sure they don't even develop. So like in speaking harshly about marriage and speaking harshly about dating and not even encouraging people to even like move into that space, I feel like it supports that attack. And I do feel like, to your point, we talked about it on the previous episode, with your wife, 1 + 1 could be infinity, and nobody wants people to be that powerful. You know, nobody wants people to move like that. And I don't think people want people to see that. You know, I think marriage is a very difficult thing, but it's also a very beautiful thing when it works. You know, so I think there's an attack on family. I think there's an attack on people who desire to build with somebody, especially in our community. And we've been adopting a rhetoric that comes from other people, you know, insert who you want to insert there on how to make sure we can continue to diminish that. And I think it's something that's constantly being perpetuated in our community, whether it shows up on social media or whether it shows up on Instagram, whether it shows up on Threads, or if it shows up through the T app. You know, I think these are things that are constantly being implemented to make sure that we could diminish the importance of families, especially Black families. I think it's something that's constant and it's been going on for years. But like right now, it's really bad.
Why do you think that is?
It's a lot of power that's involved in it, right? And I think it's a lot of manipulation in how they do it. So, for example, you'll release a report and you'll say, Black women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs, you know, which don't need, and in this article, like the headline would be Black women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs, and then talk about how they don't need support and they don't need anybody. So kind of like encouraging them to do the things by themselves, but like not trying to be funny, but like what's a metric of being an entrepreneur? So like when this article says Black women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs, like what are we basing that off of?
Right. Starting LLCs.
You know what I'm saying?
But more so, why is this being pushed?
Why?
Why is it being pushed when it's something that really, when you dig into it, it's not really nothing, right? But so you're saying that it's really being pushed for a different agenda than what the headline says.
100%.
That's what's happening.
100%.
It's great. It's great that Black
It's
women.
awesome.
It's great. It's amazing that Black women are entrepreneurs. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
It's great that it is, but you know, there's an agenda of pushing, not because like I think independence in doing things for yourself is awesome.
That's not bad. It's not a bad thing.
But to push it and kind of double down on, but you don't need anybody else. You know, like that's terrible messaging. But I think that's the message that continues to get out there, which will gaslight people and encourage people to be like, you know, I can do this by myself. I don't need it. And there's not 8 billion people on the planet for us to do anything by ourselves.
Right.
That's not what this is for. Nothing is to be done by itself. Like now it's crazy. So this first year of marriage is supposed to be the most difficult. I'm in my first year of marriage and I've never felt closer to my wife. It's interesting. Never felt closer to my wife. You know, same, right? People say having children will push you apart. I've never felt closer to my wife. Same. The communication that we have since we've gotten married, since we've had a child, amazing. Never felt closer to her, right? And to your point, happy people don't need to get on the internet and be like, man, since I've been married, since I've had children, because people gonna be like, he's lying. I'm not though. But I don't need to prove that to nobody.
But cool. All right, cool. That's it. That's all y'all get from me.
That's it.
That's all y'all get from me.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I also think when you really are happy, and man, you said something that really resonated with me. When you're really happy, you don't even want to create the space for somebody to try to take you away from that.
Come on, man.
So like to be on the internet, the loudest, the people who have the most hurt and anguish and like that story that people could just grab like bits and pieces from of, oh man, I did experience that level of strife before. Oh, okay, cool, they cool. But like if somebody is just, my life is really, like me personally, I live a really good life. I have people that love me. My friends love me. My family love me. I could call my dad and get advice from him. You know, I don't have like
too much emptiness. Like
I don't have a selling story. It's too easy, right? But what I'm saying is, I feel like we do have to make something wrong with marriage for people to be like, see, I knew everything wasn't good like that. Like, yeah, you're gonna have your bad days. Like that's gonna happen, just like anything else, right? But to have a bad day in something or a bad moment, or even if somebody experiences divorce, doesn't mean that you should throw away the entire sanctity of the thing. And like, I get disheartened, and it's actually something that keeps me reserved in even speaking
about marriage,
about marriage like publicly like that. This is the only platform you're probably gonna ever catch me on there. You probably won't catch me on my Instagram talking about why marriage is incredible and why I think somebody should get married.
Yeah.
So how do we change the narrative if the ones who are doing it successfully don't talk?
Well, we talking here.
But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, you have to talk.
You see what I'm saying?
The way you change the narrative is like you got to be loud.
yeah,
Like, here's the thing though. Like the happier you are, the less you give a fuck.
yeah,
Yep.
You just don't give a fuck.
yeah,
It's all good. I don't want to compromise my happiness.
yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's not worth it to me. Right? And if you guys don't even see life the way I see, then I don't even care if you want to be single for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not gonna lose on sleep.
Yeah.
You know. So at some point it becomes that, because it's not a battle that it's not something that like I don't think people that are happy care enough. Because this was the whole point.
They're happy.
Yeah.
This was the whole point.
Did
You know
get
what I
away
mean?
from it?
Yeah.
So it's just like, yo, I'm out the game.
I'm good.
You know, like I'm out the game.
Yeah.
So I'll pop in on the podcast and just kind of give my thoughts here and there. But do I truly care? No, I don't truly care, right? But I care about this woman. I care about this family. You know what I'm saying? And then here's the thing: when you're happy, truly happy in a relationship, you're not looking for other people to kind of join in on your happiness because your basket is full.
Right.
But when you're not happy, you are looking for other people to join in on your pain.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Misery
to
loves
help
company.
you heal
Absolutely.
because you need support.
You need
Yeah.
support.
Right? You want
Yeah.
people to make you feel good. So you're seeking that. So now you're gonna go online and you're gonna speak that negativity into the world because you want people to help you get through this time.
Truth.
Don't wanna
Right?
go through
Misery does love company.
Absolutely.
Happiness is good.
I'm glad y'all said that because now I see how we're different, right? Because y'all are in this phase, y'all are happy and building.
Yes.
You're still building, right?
Yeah.
For me, I'm thinking legacy. That's all I think about. So all I think about is how can I get this message out to as many people as I possibly can,
yeah.
right? Because I'm at a different stage in life. So happiness and the truth and all that, I'm trying to get to as many people as I can because I'm, you know what I'm saying? At 50, I understand like my next 20 years, like I got to get this message out to as many people as I can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think because we're at different stages, we look at it differently.
Yeah.
So I look at every day that I live as not for me. I look at as for y'all and my son and those generations to give y'all as much information as I possibly can to turn this thing around. Does that make sense?
We haven't covered enough ground yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
where I would say where the years make, you know what I'm saying, at 35, 36 years old. But at 51, I'm thinking not every day is for somebody else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that it's enough in this earth from me, at least for what God positioned me to do, that I talk as much as I possibly can. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think where I'm at with it is just like, yo, I'm not in it to convince anybody.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not looking to convince anybody.
Right.
Now, if I'm going to speak to you, you already have an idea of what you want out of your life and how you want to move. And so you align.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to give you my experiences to help you get to the other side. But I'm not trying to convince you that this is the way.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not doing it because it's like you got to be ready to fight that battle.
Yeah.
And that's not something that I have the capacity or energy to do. Right?
Exactly.
And nor do I just like, I don't have the endurance to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So like, it's really all about pouring into like my relationship and like, I got enough homies that's doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We can
saw
have,
that.
we can have great conversation. You know what I mean? So we're going to get on this podcast and talk about the things that we know, and then whoever gravitates towards us and want to know more, great, right? But if, you know, people are out here and they are speaking down on relationships and marriage and the things that I believe in, then, you know, I'm not going to be the voice to combat that. Like, you go ahead and you just live with the results.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I kind of have that approach, man. But I appreciate people like you who want to use every moment to, you know, spread what you spread.
Yeah. And that's my assignment, right? And that's where we get into like purpose.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a pastor for nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I was born
true.
to do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
So for me, getting out a message is what I was born to do. So I'm not expecting that everybody would want to do that. It's interesting to hear y'all talk about where you are right now, and it makes absolute sense. But when I see your friend group, like when we were at the wedding, I'm looking back like, man, this is more people need to, I wish more people could see this.
Yeah.
Like how y'all support each other and how y'all look out for each other.
What were your thoughts?
When I was looking at it?
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife and we kind of looked back and I said, do you believe this? She said, I've never seen this many men support each other the way they do. And I said, what's even crazier is this is normal for them. Because I know y'all, you know what I'm saying? But seeing your whole friend group and how y'all look out for each other and how, like, when you were at the altar and I'm looking out as things are progressing through the wedding, because I got a front row seat to everything because of my vantage point. And I'm watching all these grown men crying while you crying at the, like it was real. And to see that gave me hope for the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Like it was wild to see because you don't see that a lot. You know what I'm saying? So for me to watch men who were able to and willing to step up, but then they inspire each other to do the same. Like all of this stuff is a team sport. Marriage is a team sport. You can't do that by yourself. Even with you and your spouse or you and your partner, you gotta have people around you that support you in the goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So watching y'all was like, that's why I said it was probably one of the most impactful weddings I've ever been to because I watched. There were so many things going on at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But seeing the support and seeing black men support each other in that way, it just gave me hope.
Yeah.
And inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing on my end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was proud to be a part of it.
Yo, so if I'm a young guy and I'm like, let's say mid-20s,
Yeah.
and I have the desire to get married.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the dating landscape right now and I'm discouraged.
Yeah.
How do I overcome, maybe it's fear, maybe it is disgust, maybe it's and maybe it's just like the idea that, oh man, it's not for me, bro. I'm staying away from it because it's just so trash. How do I overcome that and push past whatever limitations that I think there are?
For me, and because you said mid-20s, so I immediately start thinking about my kids, right? And for me, I want them to have the freedom to still have the bad experiences, but not be afraid to get out there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think the problem is you have bad experiences. It's not having the bad experiences that's the issue. It's the fact that you commit to bad experiences. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the difference between a good person and a good moment. That's the issue. That I don't like. If the date don't work out, then that's not a problem.
That's not a problem.
But you get locked in to the bad date and you keep going. So now the impact is like, you know what I'm saying? Now it's this ripple effect in the rest of your life because the issue is not that you had a bad experience. The issue is that you don't have courage enough to deal with conflict. So you can't end nothing. So I'm looking at a generation that doesn't know how to end anything. So if I get locked in, even if it's wrong for me, it's harder for me to say no and end it than it is to just keep going because I don't want to have the conversation. So that's what I'm trying to teach people is no, have the conversation and be okay with the truth. Because a lot of people don't want to talk because they don't want to know the truth because once I know the truth, I got to make a decision. Now it's on me because you told me. You see what I'm saying?
Cooking.
Right? So if like when I'm looking like there was outrage. I remember I was watching on Instagram and this lady was saying, I will not date a man that makes $70,000 a year. You know how they do. And they was
how they do.
You know how they do.
You know the video?
You know how
they do.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Right? And so everybody was outraged. And so they were spending time trying to convince this woman to date a man who makes less than 70,000. Like, they're like, but what if he this and what if that? And she was like, no. And I'm watching it and I'm like, man, that's crazy. My response was, why do y'all not want her to be who she is?
Right.
Let her be who she is, which goes back to your point.
We talked about this.
If that's what you, but also don't say that there are no good men out there because that's not true.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because your filter is off. Don't blame everybody for your filter. Because it's good men at every income bracket. You just don't want them. Say that, but don't say it's no good men because how you define good is not a full picture. Does that make sense? And so that's the thing for me with my kids and people in their 20s is don't worry about it, but just make sure that you're courageous enough to end something that's not working quick. You know that it's not, okay, this ain't it. But you keep going until it becomes normal.
So are you saying that people know that about themselves, so they try to avoid the situation completely?
No, I don't think they avoid it. I think they get into it and then can't get out.
I don't know how to get out.
And the fact that they can't get out then becomes their story.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you say all men and you know 8 men, that's not even a true sample size. Yeah. You only know 8 dudes. But 8 dudes has become all men. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You don't know enough women to say all women. Just say the women you've experienced. Right? Because you don't have access to all of them.
You haven't even dated different types of women.
No, because you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like when people have so much to say about circles they could never get in. Ooh. You don't have stay where you are and talk about that pool. But don't talk about what this person is doing and that athlete is doing, that athlete, because you're not there. You're not there. So let's not you just talk about what you know and leave what they doing to what they know. Because you wouldn't survive a day in their world. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? You don't know how to deal with the 2 options you got. You don't know what it's like to deal with 20 different options every single day. Yep. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't even have the discipline to say no. Yep. So you can't talk about what they're doing. You're not qualified.
I would.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have. You would have done it all.
If it was me, I would never.
Yeah. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the part for me, and that's why I said to your question, when people try to push off, if you haven't been married for a long time, I feel like that's people that don't understand what marriage really takes, and it doesn't matter what amount of time. The quality of a relationship is huge, and for dating, it's the same thing.
Yeah, for dating,
you got to be willing. Yeah, you got to be willing to get out there because you're not gonna meet the person not being out there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If that's what you want. Yeah.
I always felt that people that are in relationships still have something to offer in terms of knowledge, even if they're not married, because to somebody at least.
I do too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's guys that are single looking up to people who are in relationships trying to figure out how I got there.
Yep.
The same way guys in high school trying to figure out how to get to college, listen to college kids.
Yep.
The same way those college kids looking at NFL guys, right?
Yep.
So like at every level you are, there is somebody that you can help with your story.
Absolutely.
So I don't never dismiss just like people just because like they aren't married for 5-10 years. You know what I mean? I think everyone has some type of value.
Absolutely.
Right, except single people.
That wasn't a question for you though.
Except single people. Single people don't know shit.
That wasn't a question for you though. Yeah. We wouldn't do that.
To who?
Because we in it.
We wouldn't do that to who?
Somebody in a relationship.
To somebody in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we married now.
Yeah, but we still young though.
We still married though.
Yeah, we're married.
We're still married and like we all 4 or 5 plus years. What I'm saying is like we all been in relationships 5, 6, plus years. So even us, where we are right now, we could easily look at people and be like, man, y'all been together 6 months, 1 year. We not paying attention to y'all, right? But I believe that even those people have something to offer other people who are looking up to them. So I'll never want to dismiss anyone's like process.
And to that point, right? Part of the reason why you are even here, you have something for everybody. As soon as they say, let's do this, right? Yeah. So whether it is them dating seriously, them being engaged, or being married, what are those keys? And break those down a little bit to us. And then also, I see you got some hardware here.
Yeah, I brought some stuff with me.
For the listeners, he actually has a workbook and an actual book. So go ahead and break that down for us.
Right there, boy.
Yeah. So I wrote this book called Before You Get Married, 5 Power Questions to Ask Before You Take the Next Step. And it's because I realized as a counselor, I was watching these couples not have the conversations they needed to have. Right. So there are a lot of you hear people say, I didn't know what I didn't know. Right. And I feel like you can know more, though, by having the conversations and knowing what to talk about. And that goes back to the statement that I made that people don't investigate once they love each other, then that's it. Right. And so for me, it was, and I used to hear old heads say it all the time, love is not enough. Love is not enough. And I understood it, but didn't really process it. And then I thought about ice cream, and then I understood the whole thing, right? Because I can't put ice cream in a refrigerator and keep it solid. That's cold, but it's not cold enough. Like there's an extreme that has to happen for it to be solid. And that's when I started, okay, what's the love extreme though? And the love extreme is conversations. You see what I'm saying? And so then I started checking off what are the things that I saw that most couples didn't have that would come to me after they got married and say, these are our issues. And these were the five issues. It was vision. Like, they didn't have a vision. They didn't have a picture, right? It was, are you compatible with my purpose? Like, I know who I am and what God has created inside of me, what I'm supposed to do in this earth. But there are also some requirements for that purpose. And can you rock with what I need to do what I was born to do? Does that make sense? Because if you can't see it, I don't want to say names, but
friction. There's a lot of friction.
Yeah, I don't want to say names, but y'all know some athletes right now that are dealing with their partners who are causing problems for them on the field.
Okay.
Right? And the reason is because there's I can see the incompatibility with what this athlete has to do and the fact that his partner doesn't want to, you know what I'm saying? Right. Well, part of what I do as an athlete, right? I was born to do this, but I also got to talk to the fans. Mm-hmm. And I may be signing autographs for an hour and a half after the game. Mm-hmm. That's part of my purpose. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you don't want to deal with people and you don't want to be around now creates antagonism with the very thing I was born to do. Mm-hmm. I love you, but you don't love my purpose. Mm-hmm. And you can't marry me and divorce my purpose. Mm-hmm. You got to be, you see what I'm saying? You got to be married to all of me, right? So in that sense, I can love you and not love what's connected to you, and that's still a problem, and you'll still come off like an enemy to me. Because the thing that has my heart, you don't respond to the way I do. And not even that you have to love it like I love it, but you don't see the value in it. And if you don't see the value in it, then we're going to have a problem every morning. Because every morning I go to it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Every morning I go to it, you got a problem because you feel like you're in competition with the thing that has my heart too. This thing has my heart as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So are you compatible with my purpose? Can we talk finances? We talked about that, which is huge, right? Mm-hmm. Because finances it's a question, but it's not just about the money. It's what we attach to the money. Mm-hmm. It's part of our identity. It's how we were raised, how we do money, right? So it's vulnerability. Mm-hmm. So if I can talk to you about it or I can't talk to you about it, that's a colored flag. Yep. You see what I'm saying? Yep. I don't know, depending on how, you know what I'm saying? Depending, it may be red or green, but if I can't talk to you about it, right? And this doesn't necessarily mean if I don't have money, you can have, even if you have a lot of money, but I can't tell you how much I have, you got to explore that. Why don't I trust you with the truth of what I bring to the table, one way or the other? Mm-hmm. You got to ask yourself that, right? And then you like this one, who breaks the tie? Yeah, I love that one. Right? One. Yeah. We got decisions that we got to make, but it's only two of us in the relationship. So what happens if we're on opposite ends of the issue and we both think we're right? Well, whose word gets more weight? And you got to make that. So I help couples work through all of that. And then the last one is, can we agree? And this one, I'm starting to realize that can we agree is probably one of the toughest that couples will go through because it gets into the details, right? So if somebody says, for instance, I need you to pay attention to me, right? And they just throw it out there. I just need attention from you, but they don't like tell you what that means. Mm-hmm. So I'll have couples know, what does that mean to you though? What does attention mean? Because that could mean, we can define it differently. Mm-hmm. Attention to you might mean, I'm gonna call you once a day. Attention to them might be calling me 3 or 4 times a day. And so you're saying, no, I'm paying attention to you. And they're saying, no, you're not, because we define it differently. So having conversations about what things actually mean, you know what I'm saying? If you're somebody that loves physical intimacy, I need that. Okay, but how often? If you don't have that discussion and your partner has not agreed or talked about, you guys haven't talked about that, then you could be like, man, this is not working for me. Mm-hmm. But it's a conversation you didn't have, and people don't realize that a lot of it, the success of your relationship is in the details of your conversations. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole book, is about those conversations and helping people to have those conversations in a way where you come out with some real detail about this is who you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of people talking about, for instance, you don't have a vision, but you want to have a wife that's submitted. But you don't have men who are submitted. So you got unsubmitted men asking for submission from wives. That don't work because you don't have a mission for me to sub to. Think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't catch it. You didn't catch it.
Submission is to come under the mission. If you haven't defined what we doing, I ain't got nothing to look to, right? To say, okay, this is what it is and this is what we're working towards. And if you're not submitted, you don't realize we got to be submitted to the vision that we've placed in our lives. So if we're coming into a situation and saying, oh no, I'm gonna do whatever, but I need you to be, well, there's nothing for me to even agree to because you haven't defined what the vision is for our relationship. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I can look at y'all and say, you all have a vision for what this is. Every friendship, every connection, every relationship should have a vision. And a lot of people get married and don't have one. You see what I'm saying? So and then you're wondering why you're lost and frustrated. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work with people to get them to this space where they understand the power of vision and how you move across in your life, where you move and continue to progress that way. And then you'll see the power of marriage. And then you'll see why it makes so much sense.
When you are setting your vision, is it more important to focus on the goal, the place you end up at, or is it more important to focus on the action steps of the vision?
Both. Because the way I look at it is like, so say for instance, if I gave y'all a puzzle, one was in the box, and then I gave you a Ziploc with puzzle pieces in it. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'll give you $10,000. You get to choose which one you put together. Which one you gonna put together?
Box.
The one with the box. Why?
Probably has a photo.
I don't think it's
something.
missing
There's
pieces.
an outline.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's an outline for me.
But a lot of people choose the Ziploc bag. They don't have a vision. Vision is the picture on the puzzle box.
Yep.
That's what it's supposed to look like at the end before you start.
Wow.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you got people willing to look at this Ziploc bag of puzzle pieces, not even knowing if it's the same puzzle. So we trying to put something together and we don't even know.
Put pieces together don't even match.
It don't even match. And so you're trying to figure out why you're so frustrated, but that's because you don't have the puzzle box, right? So I need something that speaks to the future and the present. Here are the pieces. We're going to put this together one day at a time, but we got to know where we're headed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't define that because we love each other.
Wow.
Love without vision is punishment.
Okay, P-Ray, tell us about the workbook because, you know, they said if you get out of the kitchen, they gonna let you cook, and you've been cooking. Okay? You've been cooking. Tell us about the workbook, where they could find it, and man, I mean, because you know it's so crazy. I think I'm gonna buy one as well. I don't need the
system.
I don't need you to give me one of the copies. I think I'm gonna buy one because, to your point, I know we live in our happiness and we in our bubble as well. But it is something that I do want to pass on to the next couple that I see gets married. Yeah, or they're trending towards that. So I would love to be able to gift something like that to somebody because you were a tremendous help for us in our marriage.
Yeah, man. I feel like you can talk a lot, but if you don't do it, if you don't put action to what you're talking about, right? Then you're kind of in that theory stage. So it's all theory until you're actually doing it. And so I have a workbook that goes along with the book, but I also have a 5-day challenge where you actually take classes online and you can go through it. Yeah, so we got the book, Before You Get Married, 5 Power Questions to Ask Before You Take the Next Step, and the workbook. So it's really designed to make couples have the conversations, right? And to introduce the idea that in counseling, it really is about the conversations you have. And I always say this, the quality of your life is dependent on the quality of your decisions. The quality of your decisions is dependent on the quality of your conversations. So I'm trying to help people make better decisions when it comes to, okay, I'm ready and I'm confident. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what, when you can walk down the aisle, I deal with so many couples that have said the day of they weren't sure. And I don't mean cold feet. I mean, they still had some questions that they were like, oh, we'll get to it. And those became the very things that, those were the landmines, right? The stuff that they didn't address. So that's the reason why this was so important to me. And so it turned into a 5-day challenge. So it's on-demand classes and everything. So you get the book, the workbook, and I did an audiobook. So you can take it with you just so that you can learn the styles of the conversations, how to have the conversations. And then for you, if you may not have a vision, that doesn't mean the relationship should end. But you got to learn also how to create a vision for yourself. So I go through that for the individual and the couple. And so it's 5 days, a 5-day challenge. So it's the book and an entire, 5-day course that couples can take together.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So on this podcast, well, just our content in general, one of the things that I consistently see is from women asking questions like, where do I find men like you? Or what's the prayer to our women? Stuff like that, right? Yeah. And I think about our time in counseling, right? And I want to just kind of you to offer something that stuck out to you from counseling with Chanel pre-marriage, right? What's something that, maybe you learned about us that other people can kind of take forward to help them in the future?
Oh, that's good. Courage to hear something new. Like I watched you guys process something new that you hadn't processed about each other before and have the courage to have those conversations. And to me, that's what made me so confident in your relationship. That if something comes up, we may not agree or we may not understand it, but we'll take the journey until we get clarity. Does that make sense? And when I watched you guys do that, that was like every couple that I work with, I'll see something that either gives me more confidence or makes me sit back and ask some more questions. Does that make sense? Yeah. But every time I saw you all, I could see how you were becoming more and more confident with what you weren't comfortable with. People always say be comfortable being uncomfortable, but I watched you guys really walk that out. And so I think that that's one of the main things is that you have to be okay with what you hear and not feel like what you hear is the end, is the beginning. Does that make sense? Like, because sometimes we'll hear something, and if I don't understand it or I don't like it, I shut down. Well, once you shut down, we done.
Yeah.
So you guys had the courage to stay open, and I watched how you guys were willing to wrestle with stuff. And okay, we got it now. And once y'all locked in, so I'm sitting there, just imagine me standing at the altar with the two of you guys, and I felt like a proud uncle, you know what I'm saying? No, seriously, because I was confident in what was happening that day. As confident as you were, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like watching your confidence, but then also the fact that, no, I'm ready for this. It was that. Like, I can tell when somebody is ready, and I can tell when somebody is not. And I feel like you guys having the courage to be uncomfortable and to continue to have conversations is what locks you in that way. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, thank you. Hey, y'all thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
P. Ray, man, thank you for joining us. Thank you for blessing
thank
us
you.
and dropping all the heat and, being you, man. We appreciate you. It's a privilege. It's an honor to have you here. Jalon, you good?
Man, again, thank you.
Yeah.
I know we get the opportunity to talk off camera a lot, but, as Duke was giving you your flowers, I definitely want to give you your flowers. Like Omar just found out that you're 50, 51.
Yeah.
And, I think something that is super dope that we don't really have the same access to, I feel like generations had prior to, is being able to connect with our OGs. Like our OGs ain't 70.
Yeah.
Like our OGs is 50.
Yeah.
Is in their 40s.
Yeah.
And in their 50s,
Yeah.
And you being able to step down from the pulpit to really communicate with us.
Yeah.
But still bring what you bring in from the pulpit and still be able to give us that foundation. I mean, I don't have enough tithes and offerings to give you. Really appreciate that. Appreciate the game.
Yeah.
More than anything, I really enjoyed you saying what you said about your son and just like, do I get my son the game here or do I just show him how to be an upstanding human being? Because, in having a son, that's another space I'm able to lean on you for. Not just me and my marriage. My wife adores you. So any advice that you're going to have for us, within our marriage, within our parenting, I love that you're somebody who is just an open book in that space. So thank you for being that.
Man, I appreciate y'all. And let me give y'all your flowers because this doesn't happen without y'all. This came from the first conversation that we had. And so you all pushed me too. And that's what I mean. If we can, across generations, push each other, there's so much that we can learn and be better for each other. But this book doesn't happen without our conversation. I had no idea that this was a lane for me that God wanted me in until the conversation we had. Because I remember leaving that night and saying, man, that was crazy. You remember when we all looked at each other and like, what just happened? Yep. And for me, when I left, it was like, this is a lane for me. You know what I mean? And I started walking in it. And so I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you for being courageous and having a conversation in a culture where you are part of the engine that's turning the story around and giving people something else to look at. So I appreciate y'all for your courage and how you've helped me in my own life.
I thoroughly enjoy every time I get to sit down with you and rap.
Yeah.
And usually it's been in passing.
Yeah.
So this has been really nice. But I want you to tell, the viewers and the listeners where they could find more of you at. You know what I mean? Because if there's anybody out there listening, watching like us, I'm sure they're going to want a little bit more. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I just want you to give access to the people that could need and desperately use your services.
Absolutely. So beforeyouggetmarried.com is before, then the letter U, getmarried.com. I'm on Instagram, I am Ray Murray, and TikTok, I am Ray Murray, and at Hope's House Christian Ministries in Granada Hills. Come hang out with us. It's a good time. And what else did I say? TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, all those things. I think we got it.
You on a T app?
Nah.
No. That's crazy.
Hey, you know what? One last question. You be cussing at the house?
No.
Okay.
Yo, I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm P. Ray.
And I'm Jelon. This is another episode of Nice and Neat, and thank God that is that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand. I'm going pour four in the fucking white sand. I give it all to this fucking mic stand. If it's been done before,